đi.
Right.
Hey, yeah.
That camel's in the road, the wee bit there. Nah, so I'll just sit up, that camera's in my road, man.
Oh, no,
What are you like?
Eh? No, it's just the right to do. I haven't done that. I'm sorry, though.
I've got past 9 though, man.
You're not giving me the other half of the snaps, so you know.
Sorry, mate. They fucking hell up with that.
Aye, wel, aye, wel.
Good morning and welcome to the National Centre for Bowling at Newarthill. This is day one of the 2025 Bowl Scotland National Championship. As the umpires attend and pass the bowl, we announce them to trial end. Best wishes to all players and teams on their journey to become national champions.
Good morning and welcome to live coverage of the 2025 Bowls Scotland National Championships from the National Centre for Bowling in Ayr. This is the largest week-long bowls event in the world, with 1,316 players from 340 clubs competing from and around 8,000 spectators expected this week. By the end of the week we'll have 25 national champions, and they'll have been crowned across men's, women's, youth and para disciplines. We've got 23 live matches available for you to watch over the next 8 days. The first time ever that has happened here on the Bowls Scotland YouTube channel and the Facebook page. And we've got 4 of the finals also available live on BBC iPlayer and the BBC Sport website. So on the opening day, day 1, we're going to be bringing you 3 live games. The first up is the mixed pairs in the first round. Just getting on to the green, and a couple of trial ends to see how the play is going out there, but that's confirmation of the games that we're going to be presenting to you. So first up in the mixed pairs first round, we've got Newarthill, Pamela Hughes and Robert Tate, an experienced pairing playing Burnhead, Don Kennedy and Danny Dodds. Relative newcomers to bowls, but certainly going to enjoy the occasion here in the national finals. Then after that, just after lunchtime, we've got the youth pairs first round. Burnhill, Anthony Hume and Blair Hannah will take on Cardonald's pairing of Zach Hart and Caden Young. And then later on, into the early evening, late afternoon, early evening, we've got the youth singles, and they'll be in the second round, so there'll be confirmation of who will be on the rink in front of us here in the commentary position. But alongside me, we've got Colin Noon, a very well-kent face round the Bowls Scotland scene, and this is a great occasion. Do you want to give us a little bit of an overview in terms of how we've got so many players? That's a huge amount of players that are going to be here, but there's been a lot more players involved in the whole process to get to here.
Yeah, that's true, and good morning. Good morning, Dale. Good morning, everyone. And again, a further welcome to the National Championships here at Northfield. Yeah, the qualification process is long and tough. 32 districts across the country, and most players will have played 4 or 5 games to get here to the national finals. So this will be the pinnacle of most players' year to get here, and every one of them looking to be a national champion at the end of this week.
Yeah, look at this, especially looking down. Obviously, some of the youth fixtures later on. A lot of the feedback from there was to get to the nationals, and it's obviously a big staple in the calendar. But the weather's slightly turned here, just on the coast. We're a couple of miles away from Ayr Bay, which filters into the Firth of Clyde. So it's always going to be windy in Ayr, but it's just been a little bit wet. There's been a little bit of rain. But we're expecting quite a clear day here. What does that do to the green and for the players as well?
Well, firstly, for the players, it's better conditions clearly to play in when it's dry. For the surface, this particular surface tends to get slightly spongy when it gets a bit of rain, which will slow it down. But these players, they're not novices by any manner of means, and they will adapt well to the change. Sometimes it's about who can adapt the quickest.
Just see a few of the players there on our rink one on our green A, which are just going through a few practice throws, like a trial end before the official match gets underway. But obviously confirmation at the bottom there of our first mixed pairs first round tie. Newarthill will be the red and Burnhead the blue, so we'll be able to differentiate between the bowls as they start to form the head at the end of the rink, and just getting a feel of the green. And this is nervy times. I was looking down a bit the profiles as well. Newarthill, they've got a really experienced pairing, but it's great to see Burnhead. There's a player that just picked this up last year, Don Kennedy, relatively new to the game. You'll think this is just a staple of a bowling season now.
Yeah, this might be the norm. Some people take to the game very quickly. But that's the great thing about this game, is that you can pick it up fast, you can compete against good players, and you can compete rather quickly. It's a game for all ages, and we see through the para as well. There's great opportunities for everyone to take part in this wonderful game.
A great shot there of the airbay, just a couple of miles from the venue where we are at the National Centre for Bowling in Scotland. Great conditions as well. You can see it's cool. There's been a bit of rain, but it'll test these players out there when they finally get underway.
So the players just working out line and length here. So they'll be trying to work out which side of the rink is the best to play on. 4 balls each in each direction, and normally the players will play 2 on one side, 2 on the other, and that will be them warmed up, ready to go, worked out the surface, worked out the speed, and we're looking forward to a good game here.
Yeah, thoroughly looking forward to it. It's the buzz driving in. I've come from the east side of Scotland, a commute across, but as soon as you started to get towards there and you see, all the kind of roads blocked off, and I stopped off en route, and the amount of different clubs that are here as well. The one thing that we mentioned before is 8,000 spectators are going to be here in attendance throughout the week, throughout the 8 days that are going to be fully covered live. But there's going to be more watching at home as well, and there has been a slight change in trend in terms of some of the members of bowling clubs. There's a kind of youthful membership starting to come through at Bowl Scotland.
Yeah, we've got a really strong youths coming through, and it's really great to see, all of them competing here over the next few days in the singles, pairs, and indeed the triples. And again, we're a week out of a youth international series here, where Scotland got they got a silver medal, which was well deserved. Pipped at the post by England, and I have to say, a very strong and worthy winners in England. But great experience for our young players to come here and compete on the international stage under pressure and playing to an incredibly high standard.
And good for the youth to get a feel of the atmosphere when they're here. The pressure that comes with such a big competition as well. And you start to see the spectators filtering into the venue. And it looks like we're not far away from getting underway here. And we've got various greens, a lot of action. The full mixed pairs first round from the 32 districts will be played during this time period, so we'll know by the end of this match and the culmination of the fixtures who's going to progress to the second round. So a lot of activity throughout the day. It's a really busy venue, and it's great to see as well that it's not just the players and their families. Like, it's a whole club atmosphere. It's you see a lot of shirts from bowling clubs coming to support a couple of their players.
You do, and day one and here, and through the first rounds are probably the busiest days, and we're not quite seeing that in the stands just yet. But certainly the queues that I saw waiting to get in have not quite translated into the stand space at the minute. But this will soon fill up, and it's a great atmosphere for players to play in.
Yeah, it's replicated throughout all the greens, so it's that the clubs will be supported, and there will be sprinklings of spectators across the whole venue, supporting their clubs and supporting the players that have made it through from their district. And as the week goes on, you can see the players obviously here. There's a lot of gesturing that goes on in bowls, a lot of coaching, a lot of teamwork as well. Is there any particular greens here that play better than others, or are they all much of a muchness?
It's a great question. I think people might have personal favourites. So I might have a personal favourite, and someone else will have a very different opinion. I think the key to these greens is you play it as it comes, and they can be quite changeable, both in terms of speed and sometimes line and length. I think the important thing for the players here this week is to have a really positive mindset as they go in, and not get displaced or put off by what they might consider to be a trickier surface. It's easy to say it's the same for both players, but players like to play on a good surface, and any player would like to go onto a rink and have 4 good hands. The reality is you're unlikely to get that. You might get 2, you might get 3, and part of the art of playing outdoor bowls is working out the easiest way to the jack to score.
Yeah, it's certainly not easy. A nod to Paul Mitchell, who you'll be hearing throughout the week on the coverage. Invited us to his bowling club at Trinity. Stuart McFarlane and Bruce Miller were also there, and we got a crash course in the world of lawn bowls, and it was really insightful. But it's unbelievable how challenging it is especially when you get 4 competitive guys together. It was certainly a difficult game to grasp in terms of the speed and the weight of the ball and the lines that you have to draw the ball in, and the challenging positions as well that sometimes you find the opponent's ball in.
And it's interesting, we were chatting off air, it's interesting how three guys who hadn't really experienced much about the game. One of the things that you'd said to me was you found it quite addictive and you'd like another go.
Yeah, it was. There was from the areas that I'm from, there's a big surge in players joining bowling clubs, and it's something that certainly I'll be back doing, and I think I'll probably catch the buzz throughout the day as we get underway in the first game here. Newarthill and Burnhead. The jack is in place, the head will form, and we'll start to see how the opening exchanges of this first of 17 ends unfolds between these two clubs. Slight grimace from the face there of Don Kennedy, not happy with the first few balls that have been propelled down the rink.
A nervy start, I think it's fair to say that's not unusual. I think the players will settle down in time.
Certainly looks slightly happier with that one off the hand.
Yeah, he's found a better line, just over the pace.
Scattered start to the first end. Robert Tate and Danny Dodds now make their way to the mat for the first time.
It's a decent delivery from Danny. He'll be happy with that as an opener.
You can just see that just sneak inside the Newarthill ball. It's come to a decent resting position, so there's certainly a line into towards the jack there off that hand. Certainly from this angle, that looks like a decent knock, and Robert Tate will hope for a better second bowl.
Yeah, they're all getting dragged down the tight side on that side of the rink, and they need to be braver. Go wide and trust the hand.
It's another good one from Danny, appreciated by the spectators as well. I feel Burnhead are on course to get a positive start with a few bowls remaining.
Well, I was about to say a strange choice of shot, but there you are. There's the winner. You would never have picked that out to come through that gap.
I was about to say almost the same thing. I don't think I could have ran through that gap from the far end of the rink, and it was well judged and well weighted. I think Danny perhaps is Danny Dodds is wanting a closer look at this, because that's perhaps a bolt from the blue. I don't think they were expecting that shot. It was excellent, well judged there from Newarthill and Robert Tate.
Yeah, Danny he's got a chance down the same hand he's been playing. He's just over the weight. He'll drop down, sit the red ball out, or even trail the jack to the back of the rink. So a couple of chances.
It's a great replay of that ball. Both clubs applauding that effort, and it's now Danny Dodds to respond.
Yep, another one dragged down that tight side. So chance to add another. I'll be shocked if he doesn't change his side here.
Smiling now. That's another excellent shot there from Robert Tate. Nestled two together. Just confirming, it did look like there was
too tight. I wanted to bite, you know what I mean?
One conceded, and an umpire's measure for the second.
very deceptive from this angle as well. So the team of Pamela Hughes and Robert Tate have one in the bag.
So the umpire turns out the blue ball, which good start from Newarthill. So one on the board, 1-0 after one.
A very positive start for Newarthill, who at times looked like it was certainly turning towards Burnhead. It's making a nervy start. And Newarthill will now propel the jack down for the second end. That jack's a little bit shorter than the first one. Which I think on the balance, when you watch the first end, a lot of the bowls were coming up short. You know, they were being dragged, but a lot of them were not. A lot were going beyond the jack. So, wonder whether this is a tactical ploy from Newarthill to, and it certainly looks like it might be. It's an excellent opening bowl.
Yeah, it's an excellent first shot.
Right. Right. Oh, yeah.
5 minutes, Phil.
Wait. No. Yeah.
Not bad. Opening shot from Burnhead too.
That's perfect, I don't do it.
It's a good effort from Dawn, but she just needs to be arriving on that. There's no value being short. That's a really good effort, but it's found a good home.
I feel with it, the head being so congested at the top, it might be a ball that might come back into play.
Shouldn't be looking to play much the same here. Just missed the line, but not in a bad position.
You can sometimes tell in any sport where there's an individual element to it, which obviously lawn bowls is one of them. You can see the frustration. Somebody knows when it's not the shot that they probably want to play. There was a little bit of frustration there, but sport's a funny thing. It's amazing how things can turn out. So it might not be a bad bowl in the end. As it's Robert Tate now.
Robert will probably also be looking to just arrive on this, and if he can turn the jack round the corner, then he takes a bit of the play away, but he's just missed the line.
Almost thought he was sulking there as he trudged off. I think it's his casual demeanour.
This is a really good chance for Danny. If Danny can turn this round the corner with, you know, a yard or so of pace, then he's going to put that jack in a difficult position. It'll make it really difficult for Robert to get to.
He's got a good eye on this one.
It's very close. Yeah, he's played it, I think.
Wait, Danny!
Great outcome.
Well, bad response.
Yeah, a bit of a feeler because it's off centre, so sometimes the ball will react in a different way, just off the line. So that'll be a good feeler. He'll know what to adjust. put this down a good line. It's a bit pace. Just going to fail.
Yeah, you could see that, Colin. You narrated that perfectly. It was, you could see the line there. It was just didn't have the momentum to get to where he ultimately wanted it to go. I think Colin has perhaps spied that there's a line there to be had.
The body language says no. And again, just missing the line. So one conceded. Burnhead would be delighted to get on the scoreboard here. Settle everything down.
Yeah, very good end there for Burnhead. An excellent shot from Danny Dodds early on in the exchange, which changed the whole narrative of that end. And this is another view of that. That ended up ultimately a match-winning move, an end-winning move from Danny Dodds to get that ball into the right position to touch the jack, and a bit of pressure on Newarthill. I think we did mention before that Newarthill threw a very short jack in comparison to Burnhead, and that jack has just rolled into the ditch, so passed over to Newarthill, and they have rolling a relatively shorter jack than what perhaps Burnhead were hoping for. Pamela Hughes wasting a little time getting his ball into play. Good line. Pace perhaps lacking.
Both players just struggling in this direction. Better effort, shot for now. Perhaps starting to get the feel of the green at this end now. Well, got the best of that, I guess, but in the area with reasonable weight. Final ball from
Pamela Hughes just sneaks in behind.
It's finished in a reasonable position, but you can see from the last goal there that the players just need to be a bit braver on the line and put it out there, because it is coming back quite well.
Again, Tate almost chases it down the rink, but it's a hefty first effort. Actually looks like a very, very good line. And another one just sneaks in behind.
Yeah, he's built up a good position here. Danny ideally needs to get past the shot bowl here and go beyond. So there's a play on the other side here for Robert if he chooses, down the gap on the backhand side, over the jack.
We've certainly seen he's got a shot.
Chooses not to play it. I think if he were to come up and have a look at this, I think he would change onto the other side. No, it's still there, it's tighter now though.
That's exactly what he's doing. Makes his way to the head to see the lie of the land. And consults Pamela Hughes. Perhaps a lengthy conversation and stares at the head, but perhaps suggests there's not many shots left in there.
I think he still has a shot down his backhand side, so the ditch side of the green. I think he'll be kicking himself that he didn't play it with his third, because it's tighter now in terms of where Danny's bowl has finished. But it's early in the game. He's got a chance. He could turn the ball out for one. If he gets a nick in the jack, he could make 2 or 3. Much stronger weight. Just relying on a contact now. No harm done.
As is. It was a bullshit move, but Burnhead accumulate another one. And this was one of the efforts from, I thought it was perhaps one from Don Kennedy, but that was the toucher from Pamela Hughes. Don will be hoping not to throw this into the ditch again, but the outstretched arms perhaps suggests it's gone in again as And yeah, she is laughing. She's got to find humour in it, but passes the jack over to Newarthill to set the length.
You're not making somebody in.
Similar in the last end, the jack went into the ditch and Burnhead did cope quite well with that. So Don will be hoping for a similar outcome here.
Very good correction.
Yeah, you can see the first effort is vastly different to the second. And this is another one.
It's a good reply.
An excellent reply from Pamela Hughes from the North Lanarkshire based Newarthill club. It's another good line.
Better line. Just drifting under.
Pamela again playing with great pace. Very quick to the mat to take her shot. It's coming up short that time.
Much better lines from the girls coming down this way. It seems to be the other way. They're really struggling to find the middle of the rink.
Just trying to utilise that little gap in between the respective clubs' bowls there.
Yeah, it's the right shot to play. He's picked up. He's just under the line of fraction. A couple of balls wider, he gets down to the shot ball, and even if he's slightly wider again, he's got his own coming in. But this is going to change things here.
Another excellent effort from Newarthill.
Well, choice on both sides now. He can choose to play the shot that he played before, or he can arrive down the forehand.
It's an unfortunate ricochet.
Yeah, that's okay. That's kind of what was asked for, albeit it's a little bit deeper than intended.
I think a slightly different position to what Pamela Hughes was gesturing, but still a good effort in behind. Danny not able to respond.
This one just needs to run. And is.
Another excellent effort there from Robert Tate.
Danny's going to have to go really firm at this. Give it a bit more green. Played one. It's a big saver. Can afford to reach this. Just missed the line, unfortunately.
Yeah, big ball from Danny Dodds, perhaps salvages what could have been a catastrophic end for Burnhead. We'll just be hoping that Robert Tate's got no more layers to take off, because after that the goals came off, it's been an excellent end from Robert.
Yeah, both players settled into that line in life nicely, didn't they?
It's hard to judge at the moment if that is a relatively short jack, because Burnhead have put it into the ditch twice. They've been looking to go relatively longer than that, you feel?
Yeah, they have. There's excuse me. Newarthill are definitely doing well in the shorter length, probably building better heads.
And how important is it to have control of that jack? Because there's been a couple of occasions that Burnhead have had it and they've relinquished the control of setting the length. Once it didn't really matter because they did pick up one, but the other time it was obviously a good swing round there from Newarthill, and Burnhead really had to go to the well.
Excuse me. It's critical in any game to have control of the jack, and control of the jack in the first ball is really important. If you can find a steady length to lead on and put your first ball to a foot every end, then automatically you turn up the pressure on your opponent. Neither girl's really doing that in this direction. The other direction seems to be steadier and perhaps easier to play.
Just glances past, but settles into a relatively non-offensive position. Able to respond this time like Pamela Hughes did in the previous end. It's an excellent effort from Don Kennedy, who's now looking to add another one to the party, but just joins Pamela Hughes' last ball. So a pretty relatively open head at the end of that ring.
Yeah, scrappy, I think, is the way to describe it in this direction.
Yeah, they have been relatively conflicting ends when they've been playing away from the clubhouse here. Be interesting to see how that pattern continues for not just the rest of today, the rest of the week, the rest of this game as well.
Yeah, that one just never moved. That, you know, we're talking about being brave and putting them out, and unfortunately that one's just ran straight, which won't do the confidence any good.
Stayed down low a while, Danny. Perhaps maybe thought that was out a little bit wider, but pacey as well.
Yeah, you can just see he's overplayed that. This is better. Huge effort here.
Very good. Difficult to see from this angle, but it's certainly beyond the jack. It's in a good position. And again, an acute effort from Danny, perhaps, is going to take that ball.
Robert's giving himself play now. You know, he can afford to arrive on that. Just missing the line again. It's a theme in this direction.
It is. The opening end was down here. All the odd ends are ironically down here. It is scattered head, but that is a very well judged,
wonderful effort here.
Great ball,
very well played.
Danny had keen eyes on that as it was hurtling its way towards the jack and followed it halfway down the rink. Just liked it off the hand. And Robert stayed down there, so had a keen eye on this.
Choice of shot beforehand, I think. He's either playing the dead draw, which is what he played the last time, or he goes quick. Needs to be dead weight from there.
You could see Pamela Hughes' reaction. I think she knew it just needed that little bit more to really threaten those two balls surrounding the jack. Burnhead are in a good position to retake the lead here. A very good position. If this nestles close, it perhaps has just come up short.
Yeah, it's hard to tell from the angle. Definitely two.
It looked like it was perhaps going to go to the other side as we watch on to the left-hand side of the jack. They're just ghosted towards the right, but then both sides having a really good look at this one. Very difficult to tell from this angle. So there's definitely two in the bag. Burnhead will reclaim the lead. I think the box of tricks will be needed again.
I'm not very good with measures.
That doesn't give a lot of confidence. I'm sure he's more than fine with measures. Deceptive angle there. It certainly looks like that Newarthill ball is closer, but it'll be interesting to see.
Looks like the blue one.
Yeah, it certainly does. Another check on the blue
I'm
one.
not very good.
So a very good end there from Burnhead, who get three, as you can see there on the marker. A very good end.
So what length of jack are we getting this time, Dale?
I perhaps would suggest this might go in the ditch again, but if the trend has been set in, but I think we're going to go. I think it's certainly Don will try and go along with this one as you join us here at the
or not,
as we can see now that we're back at the green. Got a great shot there of the air bay a couple of miles away from the National Centre for Bowling here in Ayr. This is the 2025 Bowls Scotland National Championships. If you're just joining us, we've got 8 days of live coverage. This is the first game we're bringing to you live. We're in N6 of 17. Burnhead just taking the lead. And Dawn Kennedy has found her form with the jack and kept control of it. But Pamela Hughes has been able just to sneak inside her opening bowl. That was almost a commentator's curse there, Colin. I think you threw me on the fire.
Not intended.
Tend not to be one to sit on the fence. I think we'd seen a couple, so it was a fair judge, but very well done to Dawn to get this one at a length that she finds favourable for her and her teammate Danny Dodds from Burnhead, a club in Larbert in the Falkirk district. A very historic club established in 1903. Another coastal club, 3 miles from the Firth of Forth, so probably very similar playing conditions and atmospheres to here at the National Centre for Bowling. All these clubs and district champions have arrived at the national finals after making their way through their various districts, 32 in Scotland, and 2 of which in the mixed pairs are Newarthill and Burnhead. I don't think Dawn particularly liked that hand there.
This is an excellent effort. Yeah, well played. It's exactly what she was asked to play. Lift on her own, or if she was underneath it, then she was drifting down to the green or the blue stickered bowl. So a good head building up here,
which we have seen in all the even ends anyway. And you see there the guidance from Robert. It's important in pairs to work together. It certainly seems that the communication between both sides is really effective. There's a lot of guidance either side.
Yeah, clear instruction, I think, is what any player wants. You know, sometimes you're given a choice of shot to play, and then clearly it is your choice what to play. But I think clear instruction is really important in any team game.
That one will trundle on past, but certainly a clear ploy in trying to disrupt those 3 bowls just nestled to the right hand side of the jack.
I can only assume that if he's changed his hand, he's running for cover here, but he's not. Change Danny onto the other side, down through the gap in the forehand. Movement on the jack is good.
You can hear, I think we all had an audible ooh there. It looked like it was on line to touch the jack, but it's just taken an unfortunate kiss off the Newarthill ball.
I think Robert has to change this a little. Yeah, that's good. I don't think he could have laid that any better. Shot's still there, but the blue ball has to come through with it now. Well, at least the blue ball with the red sticker.
Start to see the venue filling up now. It's one of 5 greens here at the venue, so they're all very similar in terms of the seating arrangements, and I don't think there's any real favourable green at the moment in terms of the action that's going on. It's the opening round in the mixed pairs, so there'll be a lot of supporters of the various clubs making their way to the west of Scotland in the opening weekend. An important ball coming up.
Yeah, it could be important in the context of the game here, because if he does manage to get down that forehand side and touch the jack or move it a yard or so, he could pick up 3 or 4. Equally, if he misses, Robert has a shot for a big count.
It certainly looks a good initial line.
He has it. He's probably been unlucky actually. He's probably unlucky that's stuck on the ball rather than come clean through, because you can see all the blue sticker balls at the back there. And it looks like he's left Robert with nothing.
Yeah, it's a very good ball there from Daniel Dodds to give him his proper title. Good approach. It did look like when it came off it was that unfortunate ricochet that's obviously not nestled in a position that he perhaps wanted, and it is a pivotal time in this match. A 2-shot cushion.
I think Collie's got some pretty dead draw down the forehand side here, I think.
Big moment in this context of this game. And he's not able to find. You can see the grimace on the face of Robert Tate there, just not happy with his final ball, but it's another one on the board for the Burnhead. After 3/4 of an hour, they've got a. You would say, you look at that and it looks like a comfortable cushion, but that could have been a real turning point in the game. It could have been a big tally for either side.
Yeah, for sure. I think had Danny not played that, I'm fairly certain Robert would have been down the backhand side looking for the blue ball out for maybe 5 or 6. Equally, the trail on the jack could also have resulted in a 4 or a 5. So I guess at the end of the day, both sides may be happy with a 1 out of that.
Stand mine. After that performance last night.
Donna's found her form, and she's certainly looking for a long jack anyway, because that's probably as far as you're going to be able to launch that. And it's obviously a way to approach this game that Dawn and Danny are wanting to play a really long game. First time we've really seen it as well. The other attempts have either been in the ditch or the other one came up short, so it'll be interesting to see how Newarthill approach this end. Certainly not struggling to find the line at the moment, as this one perhaps goes offline. The length seemed to be the problem, but that one's just ghosted in behind Robert Tate. So Pamela Hughes is teammate from Newarthill, tries to sneak this one past, and again just able to find the line a couple of feet away.
I kind of feel that the team who master this direction are in the driving seat, and at the minute nobody's mastering this direction at all. It's a scrappy end after scrappy end.
Tricky position to be in now. Forced onto the backhand.
Just overplayed it.
That's Paul Mitchell, that's the Dale Clancy shot right there.
Bit heavy-handed, are we, Dale?
I think heavy all over, just not the hands included. You can start to see now why Burnhead do want to play that long, that longer jack. I think it certainly suits Don Kennedy anyway. We'll see what it does to Danny Dodds, and it'll be the first opportunity really to see how Robert Tate plays with a longer jack, a longer rink here to try and orchestrate in a very congested position as well, because that jack is very cosy to that ditch at the rear.
It's quite early in this end, but if Danny can put another one in here and apply some pressure, just lost it.
Don willing for it to sit just at the tail, but not so lucky. So it certainly looks like the backhand's going to be the shot here.
Not a great ball, but it's second at the minute. Good looking line.
So it looks good. It'll just be about pace.
Just a touch. Yeah.
The crowd like it. The players like it as well. Congratulations given to Danny after that shot. It's now up to Robert to disrupt things here. Just struggling with this longer jack.
Danny will be disappointed with that after his last one. Great chance to add lots and lots of pressure and stretch the game.
It's amazing to see the time that it's also taken for the ball to actually get into the frame. It's that long a jack, we're not able to see the full trajectory of the rink. Just one arriving at pace from Danny, and probably just a little bit too much pace. It's again being willed to sit, and it's sitting towards the end. So certainly from my angle looks like there could be 3 on the board for Burnhead, unless Robert Tate can do something here.
I think he's just on the top side. Well,
certainly 2 there. Or is there?
yeah, 2 conceded.
I think that's perhaps a ploy that the Burnhead pairing of Don Kennedy and Danny Dodds have been trying to do since the opening end. Well, since they got control of the jack, and it was end 3 that they managed to get control of the jack, and they wanted to go long. That's perhaps evidence of why, building a healthy advantage. When I think perhaps
Does that body language say it's in the ditch again?
it looks like it might sit.
Yeah, it's fine. She didn't seem to like it when she delivered it.
Yeah, you could see the gesture of the the animated throw of the arm. Perhaps she thought it was ditch bound, but she's delivered the perfect jack again in terms of the ploy that the Burnhead are probably trying to impose on Newarthill. Pamela Hughes found the distance now as they go towards the even edge. She's certainly got decent length on that.
Weight might just hold this one, or not.
It certainly made Pamela's first effort a whole lot better.
Up to you. You choose. One none.
To the backhand.
I know, but your weight would have been good.
And I'm giving that from Danny Dodds. Just needs to find the right line off that backhand. How complicated can Pamela Hughes make it for the Burnhead parent?
I like the road. I'm going to go a wee bit.
Somewhere in between them would be almost the perfect ball from Dawn Kennedy, but again, neither of the ladies able to find consistency off the hand there at the long jack. So how do Robert Tate and Danny Dodds approach a scrappy end like this, a head that's probably scattered all over the place? In the line of the balls, who's got the upper hand here?
I mean, the way it's sitting, then both skips will be reasonably confident that there's room. The problem they have here is the front balls are gonna kill them a bit. There you go, prime example. The art of the skip is to try and find or weave a way through a path here. You would suggest the head's probably in favour of Newarthill.
Second ball for Danny Dodds. Again, just not able to find that line and just going past, but it's a fortunate nudge off of one of Dawn's earlier efforts.
It's a good effort. I think if he was clear, he was probably drawn a dead shot, I think.
Yeah, you could start to see it as it was.
Danny's got to follow that.
As it was going in, it certainly looked like it was the exact shot he wanted to play. So how does Danny respond?
Too wide in the field.
There certainly is a line in there.
Yeah, and it's it's relatively risk-free for Robert coming down that side. It's his own ball to promote. If he drops inside, he draws a shot. It's picked away the line again, though. It's what you call a waste of good weight.
Danny makes this line.
It's the big player, though. Just drew the shot.
That is an excellent shot from Danny Dodds, just when it was needed as well.
Yeah, tiny edge on the way in, but to be fair, if he was clear, he'd have drawn it anyway. And yeah, he's left Robert in a heap of trouble here. He's got nothing behind it.
A big puff of the cheeks there from Danny Dodds, the relief on his face after he pulled that one from the bag. Here's another look at it. Just kissing the Newarthill ball as it then settles down next to the jack. And
you know, you might have to just take your medicine here. If he plays over on the forehand, he's going to go 3 down with the yard away. He could play it in the backhand side, but again, he's relying on a very, very favourable contact on the way in.
an hour of play here. Burnhead 8-3 up on Newarthill. And at the conclusion of the 8th end, he has another one.
He played that a sensible way. To be fair, he wasn't really going to do much damage. Just approaching the halfway mark in the game. Nothing in it really. Six shots. It's not a big lead.
You feel Burnhead, or that was a little bit of individual brilliance from Danny, but you feel there's a little bit of momentum from Burnhead at the moment.
Yeah, I think Danny's probably got himself out of jail a couple of times going down this side. Going down towards or coming towards the club as we are. I think this is as I said the last time, coming up this way. Whoever can dominate this direction has probably the best chance to win the game.
Dawn's perhaps got the jack in the position that she wanted to, pretty long. It's another one of those odd ends where some of the balls initially have started to be quite far away, but again, to buck the trend, Dawn brings one to rest just beyond the jack.
Probably the best end we've had to come in this way, to be fair.
Yeah, definitely. In full agreement of that, Colin. Been the most consistent start from the opening pair.
A very quick apology out the hand. This has got to reach.
Just going beyond. the skips now to see this one out.
He will want to tidy this up if he can. Just turn the jack round the corner just a fraction. Or even if he sits a foot or so short, he'll make it very, very difficult for Robert to get in. Pick the line.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out that body language because it was, I think he perhaps wanted it a different way, but that is another excellent effort.
That was exactly what he wanted to do. That's what we called.
The one thing I love is the engagement with the players and the spectators. It's such an intimate environment to play in. You know, there's spectators littered around the green, and after Danny with the concentration of this shot, then goes away and just has a laugh and a joke with one of the spectators. It's certainly a great environment for people to play in and socialise in.
Yeah, it's a great social environment. But again, I think as the week goes on and it starts to get more and more competitive, then you'll start to see a different side of the game too, and you'll get a bit of a noise from the crowd. There's an opportunity for Danny to add another here. He won't want to move any of those two red balls in the front because they're protecting against the weighted shot, I think.
In comes Danny's effort, but it's going to just nestle in behind. I thought that perhaps was going to go well beyond, but another good one clustered round close to where the jack is.
This is a better effort. Very close. Danny can still play this with some confidence. He just needs to play the same ball as Robert, even with a little bit of pace, and he can take the red one out, stretch that lead further.
Having a good look at this. He had a keen eye on the line that was taken from Robert and the approach and the wait for that last shot, but perhaps the importance of knowing where he wants to play his shot is superseded mimicking what Robert just displayed. There's a bit of breathing space. It's not as lonely a walk back up to the mat as perhaps it would have been. He's got a bit of freedom to play a shot that he feels is required on this occasion. It's just gone beyond.
Yeah, I can't imagine that was deliberate, putting that there. Doesn't seem to be a danger. I think if he was playing to cover, he probably would have tried to cover on the other side. So I suspect he was just a bit wide.
Perhaps more pressure on this ball than was on Danny's.
I think this will drop in time. Very unlucky. Great try though. Was it 2, was it?
Yeah, I'm trying to get spots in the marker there to see. I think it was 2. Again, another 2, and Burnhead on a little bit of a roll now. again with so many ends remaining, an 11-3 scoreline, although it's as a seagull just gets missed. That's another long jack from Don Kennedy from Burnhead. Yeah, 11-3. It looks like a very hefty scoreline in a deficit, but with the amount of scores that are up for grabs on each end, it's certainly a scoreline that can be overturned.
Definitely. One end lapse concentration and put a score in, but equally, there's enough ends to get back in this game. There's 7 ends left. 7 singles doesn't quite get you there, but you can see that it doesn't take much more than singles to claw this back.
Yeah, Newarthill will have to try and find a little bit of momentum. Perhaps it does come down to the control of the jack in the last few ends, because Burnhead have really controlled that and put it to the length that they want. Asking Dawn to go on the backhand. She doesn't like that one initially. And perhaps you can see why. That was definitely not the shot that she, nor Danny, wanted to play at all. A scrapper end this time. Yeah, perhaps an end that neither of the ladies would have wanted. In this end, and it's still up for grabs for either side, really. It's still pretty open.
Yeah, very much, but as I said, these are the ends where you could lose a really silly count. Danny will be confident though, because he has pulled out a lot of big bowls coming this way so far. 2 or 3 times he's been down shots and he's converted.
He's had a good view of that angle in as well. I think that's one of the shots that he was perhaps wanting Dawn to try and bring in. And that's a confident start for Danny Dodds. And Robert Tate will want to try and follow that in.
He's just nipped the line and not pushed it. Danny's also maybe just missed the line.
There's still a few avenues in on that side. Again, Robert not able to find it either.
Great chance for Danny to add another.
Do you want me to bring some NDs tomorrow? Do you know what size the filter is? The threaded.
So we started out a little bit wider, but just lacking a bit of pace there. It's been an interesting ball from Danny because a poor one perhaps could afford a good opportunity for Robert to really attack his final ball. And he wastes little time.
Well, there's an end everybody will want to forget.
Yeah, it was a very patchy end from all four players.
But equally, if you're Burnbank, you keep the scoreboard turning over and the ends start to run out.
Yeah, momentum still trundling on for Burnhead, who had another one to their tally. And Newarthill are going to need something pretty impressive from one of these ends pretty soon to try and put a bit of pressure on this Burnhead parent. Not a bad first effort from Danny, just gesturing to go a little bit wider. Pamela off the backhand, just places it just inside. We've almost seen a change in the format the ends have been played out at. This one seems to have started a little bit tighter than what we've seen at the odd ends.
Yeah, interesting. You've seen a switch to the other side here, and I'm slightly surprised this hasn't happened sooner. We've struggled on the other side for quite some time now.
Watched all the way down. Again, the line was right on that occasion, but scrappy end from the opening pair. First shot coming in. Excellent shot. Which after seven balls, which perhaps really threatening the jack, it's the final one there from Pamela Hughes. She's played balls from the age of 10, and she's shown all her experience there to just nudge that one close to the jack and give Robert Tate a platform to try and claw Newarthill back into this first round pairs tie.
And he's just not sure what to play here. He's electing for the forehand, but it's the hand he's played most of the game. And that's why he didn't want to play it. he's now potentially 3 or 4 down in the head, so what a great opportunity for Robert to apply some pressure here. That's exactly what he's done.
Adds another one to the cluster. Didn't look like a ball that threatened. Still a few left. This end is...
Oh, it's just missed the line. What a chance. That's Danny.
There's another one there. And this perhaps could be one of those occasions that we were speaking about before, how you need a miraculous end to put a bit of pressure on the Burnhead parent.
Yeah, there's
What can happen here?
There's 5, maybe 6 lying in there right now.
Get past the front end.
Maybe saved one.
Certainly a pocket of space in there for Robert Tate to attack, and try and get another one there.
Well, bar another disaster here, it's game on.
Definitely, it's been a huge end from Newarthill. It's our skip, Robert Tate, to try and see this end home.
Picked a good line. Ouch.
Six there, that's a huge end. I think perhaps even in my head when I said they needed a big end, I certainly did not think it was going to be a 6 anytime soon, but it's narrowed the margins here.
Yeah, it's what we said though, isn't it? It's a you know, that lapse in concentration, one good end has just kind of closed this game right up.
Yeah, and from what started as a relatively scrappy end as well, it was a huge ball from Pamela Hughes that kind of laid that platform. There was pockets of space, and the consistency from Robert Tate after that, just to keep putting the balls in the same area. Danny could do little to disrupt that.
I agree, but I don't think it's a shock that the count has come when they've elected to change their hand, going in the other direction. They've been muddling away on what is maybe the difficult side for quite some time, and they've changed. So it will be very interesting to watch the next end going down and see what side of the rink they choose to play.
A strategic decision at an important part of this game. She likes that one. Pamela willing that one down, still just pops her hand back down her side as it approaches the jack, and Just a little bit more on that. This looks like a good line as well from Don Kennedy. Two good balls in behind.
Just needs to run.
It's arriving at pace. It's a good line. It'll join our other couple that were launched down the rink earlier on as they trade places.
Good if it runs.
Very good effort for the opening ball for Robert Tate, and he's certainly finding a bit of form now. Dan's found the line as well. This is going to be an intriguing conclusion to the 12th end.
It's the same ball from Robert. Just overplayed the line. Super effort.
Just put Newarthill in a very tricky position.
It's going a really good home here. That's a great home.
There's a confident reply there from Robert Tate, who's almost been forced to play by Danny Dodds after his last effort. Both the gentlemen have found the line in their previous efforts, but I don't think Danny's going to find it with this one.
Yeah, Danny's short there when he really needs to be attacking that and trying to move the jack to the back balls. They'll be disappointed with that.
I think the deliberation on this end kind of does signify how important this part of the match is. They had a monumental end on the 11th. And they want to try and keep the pressure on Burnhead and turn the tables, so I don't think that is lost on skip Robert Tate.
Yeah, I think he was just looking to see what he could cover at the back there. That's where the danger is. The three balls to the bottom right hand side of the screen. Yeah, he's played that well. Probably the best he could do on that side.
So what does this force Danny to do now?
It would look like his shot's a bit of a forcing shot on the forehand or the ditch side of the rink. He's got 2 balls in the head, just short of Roberts' ball that's holding shot. So I think he's got to play through this with, a couple of yards away minimum, in order to get a move. He's got to move that jack 2.5 to 3 feet to get the shot. Yeah, he's got a bit more devil about this. He's in the area. Any contact's good. It's unlucky.
Yeah, it looked like it was herring in between those 2 balls, and that the angle of the way that jack was lying against the Newarthill ball looked like it could have just snuck away, but it collides against his team's 2 balls that were there, and it's another 1 to the tally for Newarthill, who now trail by 10 scores to 12 as we approach the 13th end here at the 2025 Bowls at Scotland National Championships here in the National Centre for Bowling and Air, just a couple of miles away from the Ayrshire coast there in the Air Bay. Very favourable conditions. We played just over an hour and a half here in our opening fixture here. We've got 8 full days of coverage, streaming live every single day, covering the gents, the ladies, the mix, the youths and the paras. So a lot of action going to be seen here on the Bowls Scotland Facebook page, the YouTube site, with 4 finals also being covered on the BBC iPlayer and BBC Sports Scotland website. Colin will be here for every single day as well.
Yeah, usually 8 days. It's fantastic to be able to bring this live to people, at home. This process, or this live streaming, started here around, I think it was 2014. We were one of the first to do it, really, in the UK, certainly at national level. I think the first couple of years we did it with volunteer camera people and all sorts of stuff. So maybe a bit hair on scarum, but we've got a far more professional setup now, and it's great to have the 3 cameras system set up, and screens and things inside. It's fantastic.
Yeah, it's great to see. It's great to see the setup, the buzz when you're walking in. It's been great to be involved in the whole preparation for the national finals. Privileged to be here for the opening day of the competition as well, but the exposure that it's getting. And you mentioned volunteers. You can see the amount of volunteers as we walked into the venue here in Ayr. That's what the clubs are all built on. Any social sports club, bowling clubs are no different. They're built on volunteers, and this is also a celebration of their clubs and their players and what they do and bring to their communities. A celebration of the game in the country. It'll be some people's first time here at the venue in Ayr. Some people will be well known round these parts, but it means as much to everybody that this event is a success, and it's been a very good opening exchange here in N13. A couple of good bowls from Pamela Hughes, and then a final heathen bowl there from Don Kennedy. Sets up an intriguing exchange as the skips go towards the mat.
For sure, and you can see that with Pamela having changed her hand there onto the ditch side, she's put 3 to a couple of feet, which has been almost an impossibility on the other side for them. The thing that Danny needs to be very cautious of here is allowing Pamela to dominate on that side.
Very exposed Jack there as Robert gets his first bowl in the 13th end. Certainly approaching the crux stage of this matchup in the first round. The winners will play.
Danny has to be cautious he doesn't take his own bowl out here. He nearly did.
He certainly does have to be cautious about the position of his own bowls, not to give too much of a leverage towards Newarthill.
This is a good try.
An excellent shot. Excellent from Robert. And you start to see they've had a big end in the 11th, and they're building that momentum, putting a bit of pressure on Burnhead, who are now clawing to try and gain control of this game again. Still a shot to be played in there.
Yeah, I think he just plays the same shot again. The jog would suggest he quite likes it.
I'm tempted to put my smartwatch on Robert's wrist because he'd get my steps up anyway. He's liking that one as he chases it down, but it's just come up a bit short. Still left a shot in there for Danny.
Hard to understand what Danny tried there. It feels like the shot's on the other side. Crack an egg on it. He's got the ball that's sitting the widest there. Could be 4 down.
And you roll back to the 10th end when we were speaking about the scoreline at 11-3. We were saying in this sport it only takes a couple of ends to swing the momentum.
Just needs to be good weight.
Just went beyond. I think he looks disappointed with himself, but he certainly started to play pretty consistently over the last couple of ends. Robert Tate, he's a slight flap of the arms as he walked towards his teammate.
Yeah, I think the difference is that Pamela's laying a better foundation for him now, and he's perhaps getting, should we say, nicer shots to play. Some of the scrappy stuff early on I don't think was helping any of the players.
Danny now going towards the ditch side. Shot perhaps that you alluded to earlier on.
He's played it. He's probably been unlucky there.
I certainly liked it at the start, but they're looking over this one because Jack's just out of sight. But he played the shot that was perhaps required, but in most sports an element of luck is required. And we get a little view of
one red.
The final shot that was played there by Danny, and confirmation from the marker that we've got one scored awarded to Newarthill. So within touching distance now.
That's a huge ball there. I think he was faced with 4 down, playing his last delivery. So I think he played the right shot, and he's cut it to 1. So Burnhead keep their nose in front, but it is just by a nose now.
Yeah, Danny Dodds, the taxi driver, certainly his team in the driving seat, and then the momentum has started to swing towards Newarthill slightly. And it's an important last few ends here in the final quarter now.
And that's a great start.
Yeah, I was about to say, he I think in terms of the way that Newarthill opened the fixture, they probably wanted to jack round about that length, and that's an excellent opening ball from Pamela Hughes. Forces Dawn to try and go in alongside. Robert and Pamela exchanging. I think mid shot there. I think Robert was trying to give Pamela some guidance, sarcastically appreciated by Pamela Hughes.
They're certainly looking quite relaxed as a pair now. You know, the tension and the stress of being, you know, so far behind has kind of gone, and the other one's carrying the momentum now.
Yeah, there was almost an element of tension earlier on. You felt they were pretty nervy in the opening ends, and then I think they have settled in. I think an end when you get 6 scores perhaps has helped support that change in demeanour, but it's been an interesting fixture between Newarthill and Burnhead. Only one of these teams will progress through the second round. The lead side of Kilbirnie or St Vincent will be the opponents in the second round. Another one rolled beyond. Back to what we were talking about earlier on about the occasion. I've got a team member who I work with down at the Borders College in Galashiels, and she's part of the teaching team that I work with, and she's made it through. I was following her journey on Instagram. It was great, and I think most of our team meetings ended up being about the National Bowls finals. And then when we got given the mixed pairs, I think she was a bit nervous that perhaps I was going to be commentating on our Abbotsford team, Audrey Graham from the Abbotsford club, but she is over on Green Sea here in the opening fixtures at the National Championships here, the 2025 Bowls Scotland National Championships. A lot of action to be had over the next 8 days.
You never know. She might wind up behind or on commentary yet, because we do cover the mixed pairs final. Don't think you're scheduled to do that one, to be fair, but yeah, and there's another mixed pairs game scheduled within the 8 days.
A very awkward end for both of these gentlemen to try and navigate. An important end as well. I think we've probably said that about a few of the ends. Certainly that 10th end looks like it's going to be a big talking point in this fixture, but certainly this end here might have a big say on the eventual victors.
Yeah, you can see the standards picked up. This is the standard that the players would wanted to have showed from the first end. So I think the standards picked up. But once again, I think Danny's left with very, very little here. The angles are against them. The positions of the bowls are pretty much against them. So it's a tough head to play to.
certainly been fortunate with the weather and the drive in. There was a downpour, but we've been lucky that it's been dry so far. I don't think a lot of rain is forecast either, and hopefully the players will benefit from having a dry day out in the green. Danny pushing this one wide again. Nestled in behind. Still looks like Newarthill are in the driving seat in this end.
Danny was probably trying to find the gap between the two front bowls there to try and just change something. He already had one round the back, so he wouldn't be running for cover, you wouldn't think.
A lot more conversation going on at the head there as they know how important these final exchanges are. The 14th end. 3 more to go after this one. 1 point between them. It's not a bad nudge either.
Well, it's not, but I actually think it gives Danny a chance that he didn't have before. I think if he finds the gap down the left-hand side as we look back, then I think he can come off that last ball that's been turned in and move him over to the jack.
It's amazing as when you look at that from the other angle, when it starts to knock on, you look and see, and when you're even speaking there, as a non-bowler, I could never see that line, but as the camera angle changed, you started to see that gap that you're alluding to. And this is the gap that Danny is looking to try and attack.
Yeah, if he'd managed to get just a corner of that one, then he would have given himself a chance. But we have a level game.
Mid square. 3 ends remain in what looked like a very one-sided battle between these two clubs. Is turned into a bit of a stalemate now. 12 all in the mixed pairs first round. And again, the momentum is swung the way of Newarthill, going from the 11th end and scoring every single time. You can just see in between the legs there of Danny Dodds, you could see the first ball, and you can see the second one coming in high of the jack there as well, just half a foot away. That's more like it. If he could stand his legs apart, we'd be able to see the jack position. But it's obviously it's a difficult thing, because you get these habits in sport and you get these habits in the game, and that's obviously a position that Danny Dodds is really comfortable, like looking at the play from in behind there.
Yeah, if you're not used to playing with cameras, then it's difficult. But we do have a marker on the rink who is hopefully going to remind the players just to stand to the side so that we can see.
That looks like a good line. It's just going to ghost past, and Pamela, a notorious speedy player, has taken a lot of time to judge that one, and rightfully so, because she's just brought another one just close to the jack.
She started to find some real consistency in this direction, so laid the foundation again on the other side, and she's managed to back that up down the side of the rink that they were previously finding quite tricky. Again, the head probably built up in Newarthill's favour.
Now for the skips on the 15th end, all square. Looking to show their experience for the respective clubs and their respective parents. A little bit more weight on that one from Robert Tate, and that would have threatened. Certainly had the line there again. Both Robert and Pamela from Newarthill have shown tremendous consistency over these last 4 or 5 ends.
He can get a touch on his jack. Either way, he's got the shot.
That's another excellent shot. A real spring in their step now, this Newarthill parent.
Again, Danny could probably have benefited from coming up and having a look at that. Might have changed his play again.
Again, taking a bit of time with these last couple of balls. Another big end from Newarthill could potentially see them over the line. Still a lot of balls to be played.
He's got nothing to be fearful here. There's room to add.
Just not wait on that one.
That's all what's wrong, really. He'll be disappointed that he's left that out there.
And again, doesn't look like it from that angle. Potentially not a route in from there, although Danny's is having a good look at it. It's certainly exposed from the other side. From his more natural forehand. He's not taking his eyes off this one.
It's a pretty tough shot he's been left with here. Too wide, I think.
Got that one just in the shadows of Robert Tate's legs. You could see it was just going a little bit wider. There's one. There's two. Two in there.
Two conceded.
So Newarthill have snuck into the lead with 2 ends remaining in the in the opening exchanges of this game. You can see it was the fourth end the last time they were in the lead. So it's been a while since they've been ahead, but it's come at a pivotal time, and you can start to see that scoring build up from the Newarthill team, from that big 6 in the 11th end. They've then built a little bit of momentum every single end since then, and really put the pressure on Burnhead, who were steady scorers in the central part of this fixture. So it's going to be an intriguing finish to this game if Newarthill can continue that momentum, or if Burnhead can pull it from the fire.
They're just making sure that the jack is the minimum length of 23 metres. They seem quite happy, so on we go.
You could hear the conversation about the length from the mat, obviously 23 metres from the mat, and I couldn't quite differentiate if that was Robert Tate or Danny Dodds perhaps speaking. I would assume Danny Dodds was perhaps the gentleman asking the question.
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, it's definitely Danny just asking and making sure. If they were in doubt, of course, they would have called an umpire. Nearly. Carrying a yard or two.
An ultimate end here between these two sides, 14-12. Burnhead looking to try and put a little bit of pressure on. Again, a little bit of frustration coming into the play here between from Burnhead anyway. Don Kennedy just flapping the arms, but that's
good again.
You can always tell if people are confident when they start sprinting up the green.
Yeah, she's really come on to a much steadier game and starting to dominate the front end exchange. You can't see this because Danny's standing in front of the camera again.
He's left us a bridge. There's a nudge in there, just in beside. So again, Newarthill putting the pressure on Burnhead. It would be a very, especially the way that the scoring's been throughout the fixture, it would be a very comfortable cushion if they could even just escape with another one. In terms of if you look back at the scoring that's been exhibited throughout the game.
I agree. I think tactically here, I think they'll just try and run for cover a yard or so past, because that's Danny's only play. His only play to get the shot here is really to move the jack. So if he can cover that back bowl that you can see roughly in the middle of your screen, then that would be an excellent place to be. He's just pushed it widely.
Danny might answer my question just now, because I was going to ask, do you move the jack early or do you move it later on in the fixture? And it looks like
he's just not aggressive enough with that. That's the honest truth. He needs to give himself room.
Yeah, I was wondering whether he to try and move that jack and almost make it a straight shootout between him and Robert, play almost a game within the game.
His last balls gave him a shot just to kind of tap it now, I think. Notoriously difficult shot to play on these greens. Sometimes it's a bit easier to go a bit quicker.
Couple in behind.
Yeah, he's built up the back position, which Robert's going to find really difficult to cover in the ideal position. Yeah, he's going to have to cross his fingers here that he doesn't arrive on this with about 2 feet around.
Oh, just not able to cover that, so that's
Much closer here. Might go too far. Oh, he's been unlucky. Very unlucky.
Visual there of seeing the action going on across the various rinks.
Robert's got a choice to make here. He either tries to cover just roughly where Pamela's standing now, or he could actually drop a ball up the green, so 2 yards up the green, maybe 3 yards up the green in the way, and actually stop Danny playing the game.
The angle, the position has been given by Pamela.
I often think if you're going to try and play that block, which I think he was trying to play, I think you go further up. The closer the ball comes into the head playing a blocker, then the more chances there are of either your opponent coming off it or turning it in. If it's 3, 4, 5 yards up the green, it's unlikely to be moved into the head.
Yeah, I was about to ask that, if it was that, you kind of want that a few feet further towards the mat as we watch on.
But there's a chance here because the angle off that wide one is good. Again, he's been unlucky.
Very unlucky there. And it's another one for Newarthill as we enter the final end. I think Danny is noticed there that was an opportunity as he had a conversation in the crowd. It was a chance to get them a little bit closer going into this final end, so it's a 3-score cushion for Newarthill into the final end. And how do Newarthill then approach this? They're in the driving seat. They've got a 3-point cushion, a 3-score cushion. Do they have to be reserved here?
No, I think you do what you're doing. I think Pamela's dominating the front end exchanges now, and she's finding the ditch side here much more comfortable to play. So the objective here will be to get in first, and then what you're then trying to do is you're probably trying to match ball for ball so that you don't leave yourself exposed to a free.
And that's a very short jack as well.
Yeah.
Wanting to control the final end. So delicate balls are going to be approaching this jack to on the head.
And they've, since they picked up that 6 at the 11th end, which ironically was a slightly shorter jack than the long length they'd been playing. So, they started to play the other side around the 11th end to score the 6, but since then they've been medium to short length jacks they've been playing.
Perhaps a wasted ball there from Don. Gives an opportunity for Pamela to continue pressure on the Burnhead pairing.
Pamela's fine here. She rang. Just fine.
Just on Danny Dodds' thigh. This is better from Don Kennedy. Just perhaps required a little bit more pace.
This is a player announcement with Aidan Farrell from Kirkconnell Bowling Club and Rudy Mann from Newbridge. Please report to the tournament office. Rudy Mann and Aidan Farrell to the tournament office. Thank you.
At least if he's at home, he'll hear that as well. If he's on site, he'll certainly hear it. Oh, excellent one. Apparently, you said it a couple of ends ago about Pamela laying a foundation for Robert to play, and there's been a couple of handshakes when they've got to the same end at the exchange, and she's been playing tremendously well over the last few ends. Dawn started very, very well, perhaps asking a little bit too much of Danny at times in this fixture. They were building a steady tally between them, but Newarthill had a tremendous end at end 11. So it comes down to these final 8 bowls.
This is good weight. It's going to be hard to find a 3. This is kind of getting worse and worse for Danny, trying to make a 3 out of this, because the angles are now against him on that side. Through the goal again, I think.
Yeah, very defensive strategically defensive from Newarthill. They're playing the final exchange. I think perhaps you look at the experience between this pair and Pamela Hughes, playing since she was 10, over 20 years of experience from Robert Tate. They're probably going to see them through. Another excellent ball, squeezing in between the gap, rolling back to a shot that we've seen in the earlier exchanges.
And he's playing a bit of a hit and hope here now, I think. Well, of course, playing with that weight, he could kill the end and start again.
He'll have to cross his fingers that something miraculous does happen. Over 2 hours of play in the first round of the mixed pairs, and it's going to be Skip Robert Tate's final ball to secure passage into the second round.
He'll go deep here. Just to cover those two at the back. Played it well.
Final ball from Burnhead. It's an aggressive one down the rink. But it's not going to be one that's going to be enough to secure the passage into the next round, because it's Newarthill. You get 2 in the closing end in the opening matchup. 17 points to 12. They win. And we look back, and there was I think we were talking quite a lot about changes in momentum and the big ends and whatnot, and I would say it's probably that big one in the 11th. We'd almost predicted it. They needed a big end, and they got 6 in the 11th end, and then after that they never looked back. They built that momentum. They had a score of 3 going into the 11th end, and all of a sudden they built that momentum, and 17-12 they're victors.
Yeah, and I think we also said that, whoever managed to dominate, going towards the flagpoles there and find a way to the jack would win the game, and that's actually how that turned out. From 3-12 down, a run of 6-1-1-1-2-1-2 kind of saw them over the line there, and they showed the consistency in the second half of the game, and probably played much more like themselves. I think they would be disappointed, if I'm honest, in terms of the way they played the first half. So classic game of two halves, turned into a really good kind of game with some good shots played. So yes, a good opener.
Yeah, I think there was times, there was a couple of ends that we looked at and we thought there was a kind of couple of poor or dull ends that we were just waiting for it to really ignite, and it did. You can see there, certainly in the 11th end, a huge 6 from the Newarthill pair and brought them back into the game, and from there in 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and then finally in the 17th end they scored every single time. They put a bit of pressure on in that 11th end after a steady bit of momentum was built by the Burnhead pair, and a couple of miles away from the Ayrshire coast it is going to be Newarthill who will return to go into the second round. They are going to play the winners of Ladeside of Kilburnett or St Vincent in the next round. The obviously play is still underway throughout the rest of the venue, so we will be waiting to see who the victors are from the opening mixed parents. But we've still got a couple of fixtures to come up. Next up we've got the youth pairs. It's going to be between Burnhead, who are playing Cardonald, so it'll be a pairing of Anthony Human, Blair Hannah from Burnhead, and they're taking on Zach Hart and Caden Young, and that will be getting onto the green round about 1:45, and then a couple of hours of action there, and then following that between 4 o'clock and 6 o'clock we are going to have the youth singles, and it's been confirmed that the youth singles will be between Aidan Farrell from Kirkconnell, and he's going to take on Rory Mann from Newbridge. So join us back here shortly. Thank you very much for joining us for the opening fixture in the 2025 Bowls Scotland National Championships, and hopefully we'll see you back here shortly.